Hi, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to walk you through networking in the cloud. Before we talk about networking in the cloud, let's talk about basic networking. We're going to take a look at VPCs as well in AWS. We're going to take a look at components of a VPC, like the internet gateway, subnets, route tables, firewalls, reducers, and many more. What is networking? Computers or devices cannot talk to each other or cannot communicate without the network. So networking is the most important aspect when it concerns IT in general. In the past, you're going to hear so much about a physical network, where you have physical devices plugged to the wall, where you have MAC addresses of devices, and you have networking devices like switches, routers, working at different layers of the OSI model. But in this video, our main focus is actually going to be networking in the cloud. With AWS, we have something known as a VPC, which stands for Virtual Private Cloud. And Virtual Private Cloud is a service of AWS that AWS customers can actually use to provision their resources. VPC is very important because it gives you a private way of launching your devices in the cloud. When you create a VPC, it spans across all availability zones within that region. So let's say, for example, you're making use of the US East 1 region, and you create a VPC in this region. It spans across all availability zones in that region. When creating a VPC, one very important thing that you have to mention is the CIDR block. What is a CIDR block? A CIDR block is just the range of IP addresses that you want your VPC network to actually have. Because when you are actually defining the network space, you must define a CIDR block. The CIDR block actually has two sections. It has the IP address section, if it's an IPv4 or an IPv6, and it also has the subnet mask. So let's say, for example, we launch a VPC, and this VPC, we're giving it a 10.0.0.0/16. This simply means that our VPC has the subnet mask of 16. And in AWS, you could only make use of a /16 all the way to a /28 for your VPC or the subnet. Now, the lower the subnet mask number, the higher the number of IP addresses you can have within your VPC. The higher the subnet mask, the lesser the number of IP addresses you can have within your VPC. What is an IP address? When we talk about an IP address is just a unique identifier of a resource within your VPC. When you launch devices, or when you have devices talking within a network, those devices make use of an IP address. So each device in the network is going to be assigned a private IP address. It is in the private IP address that devices in your VPC network are going to be able to talk to each other within that network. A private IP address could be an IPv4 or an IPv6, but that is dependent on the CIDR block of your VPC. Is a VPC CIDR making use of an IPv4, or is it making use of an IPv6? Now, for our availability, you want to ensure that you are launching the resources in your VPC across different availability zones. So, I'm going to be talking to you about subnets. But before we talk about subnets, let's talk about the internet gateway. When you create a VPC, by default, the VPC is private. It means it can neither talk to the internet nor can the internet talk to that VPC. So that network is a private network. So if you want your VPC to actually have access to the internet, what you're going to do is you're going to attach an internet gateway to that VPC. That internet gateway serves as a channel through which the internet is going to talk to your VPC, and your VPC is going to talk to the internet. So the internet gateway is a managed feature or one of the components in a VPC that gives the VPC access to the internet, which is the World Wide Web. One other thing you're going to hear about when it concerns VPCs is the aspect of subnets.